Give this man a raise. Okay. Let's see where this goes. Well. Okay. Right now it's showing everything good. There's good now. What the fudge? Very strange.
We got all the things, and the hive didn't eat us. I'd call that a success.
Okay. Cool.
So, I find it frustrating
technical things.
that it's really easy to build up renown, but patrols don't give you any tokens. Somehow
Yeah.
I miss this in all the time I've been doing it, and that's bullshit.
I completely forgot about that when you said you were going to do patrol. I was busy doing stuff, and I was like, wait, do you those give tokens? Just go into the lost sector. Oh jeez. I hate Jason so much. Oh, we're gonna do public.
Serious question time?
Yeah? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Why the fuck do you go by Eddie or Ed in so many of your social media shits?
I honestly don't remember. I think my nickname when I was like a kid was Eddie or Ed or whatever the fuck. And plus favorite cartoon was Ed and It Eddie. So there's that too. And then my original PSN was Eddie255. And well, yeah.
Drunk, then I just called you Eddie.
I do. I was really confused by it, honestly.
I'm still confused by it. I think I couldn't remember your name.
There's two names I go by from. Okay, I'm with you guys. There's two names. My actual
And it
name
shows the
and
third option.
Jeez. Probably Matt's mom, in all honesty.
Ooh.
Got him.
Hey. Mrs. Nebuchadnezzar is a saint.
You're right, she's a saint
And
for
you're
this
assuming
dick.
she can fit behind the door. Come on.
Brutal! So brutal, I love it!
Listen, Todd's having too much fun, you know? You gotta chime in every... Oh, that guy has the EP shotgun. Go ham. Do it, kid. Do the thing. I was wondering why that dude was taking so much goddamn damage.
Whoa! Jesus Christ!
What?
Stop it, The Ring. I'm tired of listening to your scary shit. If you're gonna try to tell us not what that just was, you're wrong.
What do you... I honestly don't know what you're talking about. Was it mic thing again?
Old and then tried to compress several seconds worth of sound into a small burst,
That's quite the
which
bridesmaid sounds.
made it deafeningly loud.
Oh my god. I fucking hate guns. Said I fucking hate cocks. Pay for this somewhat should have been reasonable internet. Because everyone in this area.
I just hate cocks. I'll never be a gay man.
You know, very fair point. Qualifiers are really important here.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean, frankly, I'm not even very happy with my own. It's kind of inconvenient. It gets in the way. Like, is anybody really happy with cocks? They just don't do a whole lot.
Good mom.
Okay, fine.
Got him.
Other than my mom, cocks don't do a whole lot. As a category, as an organ. Jesus Christ, did that not give me one?
It should have. When no, not when you open the chest. When you actually do the event, it gives you 5. You're good.
Oh my god. All right, fine. Can we? I'm going back to the tower.
Yeah,
Fuck
we're going
this
back to
noise.
tower. Bye,
See ya, Todd.
Bye, lady.
Probably won't be creeping outside your door. Probably.
Solid, probably.
No, fuck that. That's like an hour drive. I'm not doing that.
Only fire team leader can initiate. Arf!
What?
Take us to the tower.
We're going to tower.
Go faster.
Are we?
Yeah. What's your problem? I need you to
Alright,
calm your
I have an
titties.
I have an
Jesus.
important question.
What?
For the sake of the live cast thing that supposedly we're doing.
Very sloppy jalopy.
Who is the most important MCU hero?
Iron Man.
You think?
Currently or all
Yeah.
time?
MCU. So.
Yeah,
currently.
like current. Okay, I would say Captain America.
I mean, okay, justifications. Let's go. The whole
I
point
have
is
a
having a
mouthful
fucking
of
discussion
pretzel.
about
Give
it.
me a second.
All right, for me, reason why I say Captain America because as of right now, everything is fucked. Right, I feel like Captain America is gonna be one that's gonna bring what's left of the heroes that are left, and try to fix this. Try to do something since Thor can do his own thing and teleport everyone wherever. And we might end up seeing just the entire gang just traveling plan to plan, just trying to find Thanos or some shit. Who knows? And Captain Marvel will be there somewhere. Who knows?
Gamma Ray Bill for Captain Marvel movie.
By the
Or
way,
Beta Ray Bill.
Bill.
Why did I say Gamma Ray Bill? What's that? Bruce Banner's
Hoping
brother?
for
that's what Bruce Banner
hoping
calls his
for a
penis.
Hulk Beta Ray Bill mashup here.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh yeah, it's worse. Ugh. No one cares.
Tired.
Fun fact.
Work was a long day. I only sold
Was it a
one
long
cell
day?
phone.
Oh. Feels bad. If I was there,
My
I'll
Indian
definitely buy a
coworker
cell phone
wanted to talk
from
to,
you, you know?
to me about Smite
Ew.
all day long. It's like, Smite's gross, and you're gross.
Smite is gross. And the entire studio, Hi-Res, is gross. Nothing but a bunch of copycats.
Hi-Res is the one that makes Paragon, right?
No, Paladins.
You mean Paladins?
Yeah, Epic
Yeah.
makes Paragon. It made Paragon. Really? They made Paragon? Oh, gross.
Yeah, they made Paladins, and now their Battle Royale thing. Because, you know, Hi-Res is nothing but copycats. and they just follow trends all the time. And...
So what was I
I
gonna
didn't
say?
even
Oh,
realize
yeah,
that
so,
Smite was made by Hi-Res. Damn, that's gross.
It is really gross.
so I was reading this thing a while back, and I thought it was worth sharing that Deadpool,
Right?
as a character, is actually immune to psychic attacks because every psychic who's ever tried to get inside of his head has been so scared and disturbed by what they saw in there, they couldn't actually spend enough time in there to try to influence him one way or another, so they've just given up and said, fuck it, I'm out.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
More importantly, and this is where I really love Deadpool and one other character. Deadpool is actually immune to the penance stare that that Ghost Rider has, and can't be hurt by it because the penance stare is supposed to make you feel the pain for of all the sins you've ever inflicted, and Deadpool legitimately is so insane that he doesn't think that anything he's ever done is wrong. And so, if he were to be in a matchup against Ghost Rider, Ghost Rider would not be able to kill him with that, or be able to even slow him down. It would just not affect him. Incidentally, the only other character in all of Marvel Comics that apparently is immune to that same ability is actually the Punisher. Because the Punisher is so convicted that he has never hurt an innocent person. He only hurts and kills bad guys, that the Ghost Rider can't actually kill him or even slightly harm him with the penance stare. It's hilarious.
Huh. Some good information. No, I like that.
Not quite the reaction I was hoping for. You guys can go fuck yourselves.
Sorry, I'm eating pretzels. It's very neat.
I'm currently
Yeah,
doing
could've said
shoulder
something.
dance.
I did say something, bitch. Oh, I'm trying not to use that word.
Listen here, bitch. Bitch is okay. All right, bitch.
Only.
Dumb bitch. Hey, shut that up.
One of the podcasts I listened to, they were. It's a D&D podcast. They were going through like a demon horde,
Right.
and they had been taken to the leader, and one of them said bitch, and the DM was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We may worship Satan, but we do not use gendered insults.
Genius.
That's great. So, off topic, but on topic of what the podcast is supposed to be about. What's everyone's thoughts on the new changes, or the new update coming out for D2 in July?
Fuck it, garbage. Nobody cares. D2's a dead game. Move
Why
on
do I
with your
even play
life.
this game?
You
I should go
heard
play
it here,
Fortnite.
here first, folks. Play something else.
I'm sure that this is not the first place that people have heard that D2 is dead and to
Yeah.
please move on.
You can go to the Bungie forums and hear all about it.
Oh,
God.
Don't go there.
Yeah, whatever
That's a
you do, don't
graveyard
go
for
there.
sanity.
Yeah, don't go there. Like, seriously. It will literally make you want to kill yourself. It's so bad.
Shortly after Forsaken was announced, I went on the Destiny subreddit, and I sorted it by new, and just downvoted all the dumbass people.
Justice shall be delivered.
It's like, I'm doing good for the world tonight. I might not like it, but it needs to happen.
Someone's got to do it, you know? Someone's got to do it.
It's true. If we don't get in there and vote up or down new, our new is going to be just a total shit show.
Exactly. Speaking of that, I did like the fact that when the E3 story teaser was dropped, that everyone in the Bungie forums just stopped being angry at Destiny and went to being angry at Odrin.
Yeah.
And then shortly later went back to being angry.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. So, Arf, to answer your question a little more seriously, I'm really excited. I think that there's a lot of good stuff on the horizon. I think that Forsaken is going to be kind of I'll say kind of a homecoming of sorts for
Right.
Destiny. I think that there's a lot of things that are about to happen that are going to be really good for the game.
Right.
And Jason said it probably best when he talked about or commented that Gambit could be the thing that makes Destiny like relevant for not just the next year, but for like multiple years to come. Like that could be the game mode that defines this game almost permanently. Like that could be the one. And I don't disagree with that. I'm not going to say it is, but I don't disagree with this sentiment. I think that there is ample reason to believe that Gambit could be a game-defining game mode, if you will.
Right.
And that's really exciting.
Alright, and yeah, and I love it. And Bungie even like said like they're working on trying to do like a good fix for say people that want to just melt the boss instantly with tractor cannon, melting point, and tether and whatnot. So that's also a good thing to hear about.
Right, like actually giving people different.
I feel like the only
different,
fix
very-
that they could do really with that one is like to prevent people melting him with tractor cannon and nova bomb without nerfing tractor cannon back into oblivion. Would just be like when the boss summons in, you lose your super. That's pretty much it.
Or that you have ample time to run into the enemy player's area and sabotage them or disrupt them or invade them or whatever the fuck the technical term is
Right.
prior to them getting the final boss out.
Right. I think another thing that might be good if they did like lock loadouts or just like a set loadout like they're doing with the Prestige raid. So that way you load in the gambit or you load in the gambit and you can only use like an auto rifle, a sniper, and a rocket or something like that. And you can only use like a arc subclass.
I'm not going to say that's a bad idea, but I don't know if I like it.
I haven't been a fan of anything they're talking about with locked loadouts. That's not something I agree with.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on that front. In general, I think that locking loadouts is not the right way to make the game. It is a way to make the game harder,
Right.
but I would rather there be more complex strategies that involve having to do more creative things rather than just making it harder in what I'll call an artificial manner. When I think back to fucking Oryx or Crota, what I'm reminded of is having to switch my loadout periodically, sometimes like multiple times throughout the fight, because it was like necessary. On Oryx, it was switching out so that I could go between the Shadow Realm and the actual like Dreadnought, and that shit was intense, and it was really satisfying. And yeah, it didn't work for everybody because some people were on last-gen consoles and they literally could not actually load their menu fast enough to switch between. But I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing to have loadout variety.
Yeah, I guess
Even
honestly,
in like
just-
Monster Hunter World, where like the challenge arenas are like use the hunting horn, and you have like this wide variety of selections of pre-selected gear. It's still just like I would rather use my own thing.
Yeah.
right.
And even then, they give you an option to pick between a few different things. Like, you can still customize the loadout some. And I guess you could argue that if it says you have to play an arc subclass, you can pick which arc subclass. But I don't know if that's enough.
Yeah, honestly, have to see when it like comes out and everything, how all that plays out. So.
Whose endgame activities have been so lackluster compared to D1's endgame activities. Just the raids are fun and neat, but they're just kind of shoot fests. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
Certainly not the worst thing they've ever done, but definitely not my favorite thing.
I would rather be forever 29 than having to only go up like 4 or 5 power levels a week. If that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you're not wrong, but honestly that was
Because at least that way I could like pick up an exotic engram from the world, go to Raoul, Maybe it's an upgrade. Perfect.
Yeah, I think so. I think what you're describing from and scheduled or predictable activities. So right now, currently, uh, fucking nightfalls and all the weekly powerful Ingrams are the thing that gets you to where you're going, right?
Right.
And those are the way you level up. I think I don't know how to.
So basically, I do 5 things a week, and I'm done playing Destiny on that character. Do 5 more things a week, and okay, that's not. It's not in spirit of reinforcing the hobby of Destiny.
Yep.
It's reinforcing the spirit of Destiny is a chore, and there's no creativity in it. You can't go do what you want to do and get to the point where you want to get to.
Right.
I agree. What it reminds me of a lot is grinding dailies in World of Warcraft, to try to like get. I don't know, just because that's what you have to do. It seems like the cheapest of engagement models to me.
Right. In order for you to actually be able to play the high-end gear, you gotta do this to-do list. This is what you have to do for the week. Go out and do it, and then do it for the next upcoming weeks, essentially.
Right, as opposed to going out and playing the content that you want to play, and being able to potentially level up doing content that you like.
Right.
And that bums me out.
Right, because I would absolutely love it if Heroic Adventures dropped powerful rewards or something like that, but they don't, so I don't touch it. I don't think I've ever touched an adventure since like Curse of Osiris.
I main my hunter most of the time, except for when I feel like it's Warlock week. And we've been doing this ogre lost sector the whole fucking week. I have this adventure, Siren Song. I've apparently never done it, and I pass it every time I go to the ogre because it's right there.
Yep, I actually just discovered a brand new lost sector on my hunter 30 seconds ago. We're over a year into this game, and the number of undiscovered parts of the map on multiple different characters, even if the way to get you there was, hey, there's a fucking achievement or a trophy that you get for visiting all the lost sectors on each character. Cool.
Exactly. Like, it's stupid shit like that that made you want to, like, figure out the game. There was a dumbass trophy in Rise of Iron that was just ring the bells in the right order.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
Something
no
so silly.
trophies like that in this one.
It's so simplified on the trophies. It's not even like funny.
I don't even have a platinum for this game because it's like flawless run of Trials of the Nine. And it's like, really, you made that a trophy? Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's like
never
literally
gonna
one
do
of the
that.
hardest things to do in this goddamn game. If you're not being carried.
And you know why? Is because it's too fucking sweaty. It's not the kind of thing that even people who are trying and who are good at the game can do. It's actually just a really, really, really fucking difficult and imbalanced experience. It's not like saying getting a prestige run of a raid, or a heroic run of a raid, where it's down to just your skill and your talent level. It's actually the exact opposite. It's,
Right.
am I at least moderately good, and did I not get totally boned in my placements?
Exactly, and also just depends on the time to kill. Are you going to land your headshots? Are you going to land those shots that actually matter within those milliseconds? Probably not.
Are you going to use Graviton Lance and a submachine gun?
If not, you're going to lose. Why are you even here? That's the really upsetting part, in my opinion. The fact that
Anyway,
trophies.
back to the question that was posed. What do I think about the upcoming updates? I think they all look at least interesting. I mean, a lot of those quality of life updates are going to help. You know, making Crucible games last not as long is very important to me.
Right.
But my question is, why does it take so goddamn long? Like, we receive one update a month, maybe? And other games with much smaller studios will pump out an update the day after an issue is revealed.
Alright, which is crazy, because as Jason states multiple times, Bungie is literally the biggest studio. Why does it take this long for an update to get
So part of it's because it is the biggest studio, and IT requires more time to process because there's more people that has to go through, and that's a bad excuse or a bad reason because it shouldn't have to. Like, if you have more resources, you should be able to do shit faster.
If you
Holy
have
fucking
4
balls.
community managers watching Twitter and Reddit 100% of their day, they
Yes.
should be hearing about a lot of these things. And like, I follow all these guys on Twitter. They play this game.
Yeah.
They know what we're going through. Why does it take so goddamn long?
I also think that part of that, and this is, again, not a great excuse, just a statement of fact, is that this game has a lot more complex coding in it than a lot of other games do. Just
Spaghetti
in
code is
general.
not an excuse to have too many bugs.
I understand. If Bethesda taught me anything, it's that. But I think that that's part of it, is that it's just a big game with a lot of complex code. It could have probably been executed better in the first place, which would make updating it easier.
Alright.
But I think that's a big part of it, in general.
Their update schedule makes me think of
Really love this spot.
like The Witcher or Skyrim. It's like, yeah, we know these bugs are a thing, and you encounter them sometimes. So we'll fix them in our next patch that we'll have come out with the next DLC. Okay, great. Except Destiny is not one of those games. Destiny is an online game with,
Yeah.
you know, like, a much more active and integrated player base. Like, you need to have these things worked out. You need to treat it more like bi-weekly updates, at least, you know? Double up the update schedule. I don't care if every update we get is just like, you know, 600 lines of code were changed, so we need to update your game for 2 hours every Wednesday. That's fine. Do it.
Right, because you can train the player base to get used to that, and to just deal with it.
Yeah. It'd be like, oh, it's Wednesday, restart doesn't happen until noon, instead of 10 o'clock, because they're patching the game. Sure.
And what a treat, because we would know that each time they were patching the game, they were doing a really good job. I'll tell you, I think the biggest reason why it doesn't get patched and updated faster is because Bungie spends so much fucking time sitting around in meetings trying to figure out how to patch the game and how to respond to the community feedback that it takes them a goddamn eternity to actually make decisions and do anything.
Another demoralizing defeat for the Hive. I've lost count of your victories, but I know there will be many more.
And I don't say that with necessarily a lot of spite. I understand running a game studio is hard, because it's a lot of fucking employees and people to have, you know, all working on something.
Alright.
but I genuinely think that's it. I think that like Deej and Cosmo and DMG all go back and say like, hey, this is what we found for the last like week, and the execs and everybody else who's in charge of deciding anything game related are like, oh, okay, well I guess we'll think about that and see what we can do.
Right, and I feel like also like it goes through them, then it goes through another department, then it goes through another department, and then it goes through like another department, and then they like look at it, see through more feedback and whatnot, and that could honestly be it too.
Yeah, and instead of just trying out shit, which I think is probably, I'm not gonna say it's the way that games should be dealt or like patched,
Right.
but Bungie seems to be very hyper focused on trying to do it like perfect the first time. Not that they actually execute this, so please hear me say, I think there's a very big difference between what they hold as an ideology versus what they execute. But I think there's an idea that like, well, we're the biggest game studio, we're professionals, we're just gonna get it right and get it done.
Right.
And I think they get stuck in deliberations thinking about how they're gonna try to do something to the point that they don't actually get it done because they're too fucking distracted.
I would rather have shit get fucked up for a week and have weekly updates than have shit be fucked up for a month and know that a patch is coming and just have me wondering, why is this not already implemented if you know what you're going to be doing?
Mm-hmm.
Right, great case. What the fuck was the solar lens that came out?
The Prometheus lens.
Yeah. You know what? If that was a semi-rare occurrence, or semi-common occurrence, I should say, that could be permissible if that was just the state of the game. And I don't think anybody
that was like
have...
the bet that honestly that was one of their best ways that they've ever handled a bug. Oh, this gun is broken as fuck. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna nerf it into the ground, just for a couple of weeks while we figure out what's gonna go on.
But you know what we're gonna do right before we nerf it into the ground? Let literally everybody get their hands on it to play with it when it's as broken gets.
Exactly.
Because guess what? That's what everybody's gonna laugh about a little bit. And also, frankly, it was in the middle of Curse of Osiris, and they needed to do literally anything they could to try to make that time engaging for people, and it worked. It was good press.
Yeah, for the most part at least. And then for the tryhards and trials, it's like, yeah, don't do trials. Don't do trials.
Just don't do it this week.
Yeah.
Skip it. I mean, I still use Prometheus lens from time to time, even now that they've buffed it back up to, you know, usable standards.
Right.
It's nowhere near where it was. It was broken as all hell, but now it's, you know, it's a gun that has its niche. I use it sometimes.
A bad example of this would be when they first brought back Mayhem and Nova Bomb grenades were a thing. And they were just like, you know what, we'll fix that when we come back from our break. And literally the entire time Mayhem was back, it was nothing but that. And it was the worst experience ever in Mayhem.
Crucible is really off in D2, it's just...
Yeah.
And go figure, Crucible's the one thing that they seemingly balanced for the most. Like, to the detriment of the PvE experience, PvP is what they were supposed to be seemingly focused on, and what all the YouTube creators, or like YouTubers, were pissed off about was like, stop focusing only on PvP because you're gonna ruin the PvE experience, and they weren't wrong.
Yeah.
But as it turns out, they still ruined the PvP experience.
Yeah, I don't think that they ruined PvE by focusing on PvP, and I just wish that they would change their philosophy. And I understand that you want your guns to feel the same when you go into Crucible and when you want to come out of Crucible, but honestly, just fucking don't.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I think at this point, the people who care most about that philosophy it's just Bungie. The players would not care if they decided to do it differently, it's only Bungie who gives that much of a fuck about it.
It really grinds my
Just
gears. 'Cause,
buku ka-choo.
we were talking about this last night, Matt. Guild Wars 2, man, it's a great game. You know what they did for their PvP? They made an entirely separate sub-game for PvP. You have to have separate sets of armor, separate skills. The game is completely different, just plays the same way.
Oh, would you
Right?
look at that? An
And-
entirely different idea. Would you
And
look at
go
that?
figure, World of Warcraft, same gear set, totally new set of stats and stats by which they rated the armor and the weapons. They actually went through and they were like, nope,
Guardian, the
instead of
Fallen are
armor,
bringing
it's
their
now called
armory.
toughness.
Again.
Instead of
No better by
damage,
now.
it's now called, like, harm or whatever the fuck they came up with. Yeah, it sounds kind of stupid, but it was an easy way to do things. Every
worked.
single piece of
Then
gear,
teach them a new
yep,
lesson.
got 2 sets of stats, and it worked really fucking well because then they could have the same piece of gear and like, it's tuned just fine in PvE content and in the raids, and like grinding shit, but it's like a little off in PvP, so we're gonna tone it down just a skosh.
Would you look at a different coding for the same piece of equipment? What? Which
Yep, just by
I mean, this is the same studio who forgot how to make things shiny, so we can.
yeah. Which just
Cut 'em a
that
little
just shows
slack,
the
I
lack
guess.
of laziness on Bungie's part, in my opinion.
lack of
The
laziness.
lack of laziness?
Or not lack of laziness, but their laziness. My mistake.
Look, I don't want to call them lazy. They do a lot of work. They make really shiny games and they make a lot of like cool guns and stuff. But do they just sit at their desks all day drawing cool guns? Because if they do, they should go work for the Borderlands people. Because Borderlands, the prequel, didn't have that many cool guns.
And Borderlands prequel was
No.
super short in story. To be honest, that was really bad.
The other thing one of the biggest failings of D2, in my opinion, has to be the art direction.
Yeah, what the fuck are they doing now? It's just
The worlds are
lost
really
their
cool,
vision.
but only some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Nessus is hands down my favorite. The EDZ, obviously, they put a ton of effort into because that's where a lot of the story was. But who fucking cares about the EDZ once you're past the fucking campaign? Literally nobody.
Yeah.
And more importantly, and this really blows to even have to think about, but it's something that has to be brought up. What the fuck was the point of designing all of the cool nooks and crannies that they designed on Titan if you're not going to let anybody run around it?
yeah, Titan
Very
is the most underutilized space because it's huge. It's enormous. It's like as big as the EDZ, but it has 2 teleport zones and you basically never leave the main area.
Yep. And then you have a giant fucking play space in Io, and it's the most boring thing on fucking Earth.
An extremely
Because
successful
everything looks the
story,
same,
as I've come to expect.
and even though it's kind of a cool look,
Again,
there's no like different habitats or zones, and it's not
Yeah,
like
I get
Mars.
lost on IO because it's
Yeah,
all just the
just-
same.
Yeah. There's nothing
And it's not like
spectacular about
Mars.
IO.
No, and it's not like Mars in D1, where you could run around and there was different like biomes and you could get underground and like see the city and all that shit. Nope, not even fucking close.
Mhm.
It's just bulldog. Like
You just have
you can
these
only-
2 colors everywhere around you. Hey, the worm.
And you can only see the last city the traveler touched in one place, and you have to like scope in on it. It's so far away.
Yeah.
yeah, like what the fuck is the point of having that as a thing that they even talk about when it should be one of the central themes of the story?
We should that's where
I-
we should be fighting, not these like random ass hills. We should be fighting downtown
In the city.
on
or in the
IO.
last city, yeah. I honestly thought when I saw that we were going to be going in there. And it's like, oh. We're not? Fuck.
But you know, there's no changing what's been done. I've, you know,
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much accepted that that's what it's gonna be. I just hope that D3 is as exciting or engaging as the other game that shares that acronym.
Let's hope. We still got another 2 years of D2 through. So. Ugh, boy.
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't come out with a Rise of Iron type campaign and they're already working on D3.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But additionally, I also wouldn't be surprised at all if they went with year 4 of D2. If it can sustain that long.
See, I just don't know if it could.
Yeah.
The other thing that, can we just talk about for a sec? I could not be more disappointed in the fact that my character in D1 means shit all to the story of D2.
Oh my god, yes.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
but I did.
Good.
Like, I was so pumped when they talked about how we were gonna bring our characters forward, and how we were gonna get to play our D1 characters. And I understand now that what they were talking about is just getting to bring forward our character models. I get that.
Right.
But god damn it, I wish I would have fucking known that, because I don't know if I necessarily would have bothered bringing forward my character model. More importantly, how fucking irrelevant and how much more disrespectful could you be towards all of the lore and writing in D1 than just I don't know, it's all out the window. It just doesn't matter that you did those things, and the game did not do any of the cool shit that you did actually in D1. Crota, Atheon, Oryx, literally all of that is just secondary. It's not really something you did, or that your character in D2 has any attachment to, and that's the end of it. And there's not even a fucking send-off for your character in D1. It's not like your character in D1 went off into the wilderness to fucking, I don't know, do anything. He's just gone.
Yeah, I pretty much have to agree. It's just like
100% on that. Like, your character didn't matter at all. Like,
this is not the same character in D1 anyway.
yeah.
My guardian used to talk.
Used to have words to say, and now they're just a silent hero.
And I don't understand, because in one of the early interviews it was like, we want the characters, or want the players to give their characters their own voice and have the chance to react without canned responses. And it's like, if my character's not talking, I have elevator music. That's,
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
I'm not speaking for them. I'm not in the story that much. Your story's not that exciting, Bungie.
Like, come on.
Oh, thanks, Lakshmi. I got a fighting lion. Still don't have any goddamn arms at rank 42.
Are you wearing the armor?
I'm fucking wearing the armor, Arf.
Listen, man, I'm just trying to help you, okay? I'm trying to help. Alright.
Gonna mail a bag of shit.
Listen, From, don't be mad at me, okay? Because Lakshmi wants to give you a fighting line. Alright.
It's just the most frustrating part is because I can't work on my ornaments while I'm grinding, because 2 of them require me to be wearing all of the fucking armor.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
So all of this time, if I don't get the arms by Monday afternoon, I'll have wasted this entire week because I did not make any progress.
All because of RNG, and the only thing you'll have to show for it is that you got a catalyst for a gun that you're probably only going to use a handful of times after you actually unlock it.
Right.
Yep.
So let's be honest, I don't use the Sunshot anywhere else, especially in the raid or Crucible, besides this like dicking around. That's pretty much it. And I don't use the graviton lens like talking about because I hate it. Because literally everyone and their mother uses it, and it's gonna suck when I'm gonna have to go and grind out the fucking catalyst for it. Because once I'm done with it, I'm literally just gonna put it in the vault and probably never use it, unless if I get really pissed off.
Well, that's close-minded.
That's just me though. I usually disregard the meta, even though back in D1 all I used was Thorn. But now I use outside meta stuff, and it works. That's just me. I'm a weird person like that.
I'm so glad for you, Art. For some of us, we really want to use the Graviton Lance, and it feels unattainable because fuck that, that means I have to pledge Dead Orbit, and God my soul, I don't like being an edgelord.
Exactly.
Too bad being edgelord.
No.
Right?
You don't have a choice. You want all the stuff? Be an edgelord.
For fuck's sake, can I please apply... Oh my good Christ. Can I please just apply an ornament to my fucking chest?
No. No.
Bungie, what the fuck is wrong with your game? How can there be so many fucking bugs? Why, when I'm standing up high, just up in the air, can I not equip a fucking ornament? Anybody? Anybody care to comment? No? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Honestly, don't know about that. I need to get this sparrow too. Oh shit! Yeah, I want that sparrow.
Take this and fight for the war cause, Guardian.
Yeah, Lakshmi.
Represent us
Okay,
well.
let's
Which,
go
by
back
the way,
to fucking Titan and do some
just,
more shit, I guess.
Yeah. Frump, I wish I can give you all my tokens, because I don't need them anymore. I'm at 300, almost 400 tokens. I don't need these. Like, what? More shards? Cool. Alright. Let's get on the topic of good things after talking about all the upsetting things, or at least some of the upsetting things about D2, eh? So, question: what was the most favorite raid moment out of all of Destiny history that you guys have?
Oh man, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember this one time where literally anything I did gave me some fucking arms.
Feels bad.
Oh, I just got my 4th Future War Cult Ghost.
I haven't even gotten a Future War Cult Ghost, so fuck you.
You have 3 full sets of armor, so fuck you.
I already have
Just
a
here
Future
to
World
be
Code Ghost.
helpful, buddy.
So, yeah.
What was I gonna say? There was a handful of moments on Crota that were pretty fucking epic. I think the biggest problem, or the biggest thing that holds Crota back, is that was before the clan was really together.
Right.
So even though some of the moments were really, really good, they weren't with people who I'd care to remember, a la Mel. And, so I have kind of mixed feelings about them as a result.
Honestly, some of my favorite raid memories is this is something I used to do when the raids were somewhat obtainable. I don't know, I feel like the raid layers are purely unobtainable for most people nowadays, especially on launch night. But when the first couple of raids were active, I stayed up all night with a pickup group and tried to do them. That was one of my favorite things to do. Nowadays, it's like I haven't even touched Spire of Stars. I don't even know what the first challenge is. I've never been in there because it's just so unobtainable. Because you have to be 385 to
370.
You have to be 370 to do the acceptable boss damage, and I'm not even 370 right now.
Yep. And there's no way to get to it by grinding through the first couple encounters, which is something that's very different than, say, Leviathan, or even Leviathan, I'll say, where you could grind the first part of the encounter and like get partway through it and get some drops, and even if you couldn't beat Callus, which is exactly what happened to us multiple times, it didn't matter, you could still at least get close.
Right.
And that was one of my big D1 things, is like they were so much more mechanic based raids that even if you failed a couple of DPS checks, if you did your mechanics right, you would probably make it. Until you got to like the DPS check, like Fogoth or something.
Yeah. Or I don't know, in Vault of Glass it would have been the Templar was a really good DPS check.
Yeah.
I made it past the Templar numerous times. In the first time I ran Vault of Glass, let's see here. The first time I ran Vault of Glass, it took us probably a half hour plus to open the door.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then we went down to the Templar. We managed to kind of figure out how to do the song. We couldn't really do the song. I think we almost made it, and then we gave up. We had been doing it for like 4 hours. And then a couple weeks later, we went in and crushed it. I picked up with another group who had done it before, and we crushed it.
You know what else I miss a lot, and I mean a lot, is there being enough people online that LFG was actually full, and everybody wanted to actually play the fucking game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went back to like our fire teams, which used to be my go-to, and I posted something and nobody responded. I was like, wow, that used to be highly unusual.
They never learn.
Yeah, I got on LFG.net and was shocked at how barren it was. There's like a few thousand people online spread out between 3 consoles now, instead of being like tens of thousands of people on 2 consoles.
Ugh, that was bad.
And it makes me wonder a little because a lot of shit in D2 now, faction rallies is a good example, are very individually focused. They're very much about just going out and grinding solo, which I'm not super opposed to. I like right now I'm just grinding out Vex kills and trying to get my golden gun kills, right? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. However, I think it's really big time bummerish that it's so fucking hard to, I don't know, to get groups together, to have activities that are engaging for groups to do, to make people want to actually play together.
Yeah, and me and you, Matt, talked about this a couple nights ago. But you remember like back in the day when the clan was like full and prosperous, and we literally had to like say, "Bro, you're too late. We're raiding already. Sorry.
Yeah.
Try again another night."
Or
Like,
like
those
we're
are
gonna try to
longer.
get through it so that we can go do a second run, and then we'll get you in on that one.
Exactly. Like the multiple
Yeah, we're
times
lucky
we've
if
done
we get
like,
in one run, raid one a week nowadays. Like,
yeah.
It used to be
Right,
we'd
and
run 3 times a week at least.
Right, and the raid right now is fucking. We have it down to like an hour, and nobody can be bothered to come play for an hour.
Yeah.
Because what's the point? I'm gonna get 1 or 2 upgrades for guns that I don't like. The gear is purely cosmetic. And I've done it 100 times, and I feel like I'm just still doing it 100 times. I appreciate the fact that all the raids are going to come forward, and there's going to be a lot of raid content. And it was one of my biggest gripes, I guess. I mean, it wasn't really a gripe for me, but my friend Trevor, who I was always trying to convince to play more, was like, why is there only 1 raid? And then a second raid got added, and he was like, okay, cool. And then year 2 started, and it was like, okay, it's just 1 raid again.
Successful sortie, as I've come to expect from you. Well done. Again.
But I like having to do something new. We've been doing Callus for a year now.
Yeah, and I've been trying to get everyone to come in and do Argos, but it's like, we don't really have the people anymore, and trying to set this whole Clan Alliance thing up, and it's just kind of hard.
And here's the thing. We could be doing other raids, like the raid layers, right? But the raid layers, both raid layers have the same fucking set of armor, which is so bupkis.
Right.
2, well, they're different challenges, and yeah, while the raid layers aren't particularly difficult, I guess, in terms of like time invested, right? Like they're pretty minimal. There's like, sorry, I'm trying to concentrate on too many things. On Eater of Worlds, it's really just Argos. Like, that's all fine and well, but that doesn't mean that it makes it more engaging. In fact, it actually kind of cheapens it in a lot of ways. Because in Destiny 1, we got 3 years of D1 and 4 full raids. And I know they're saying that raid layers are a way to provide a gap to, like, stem the content drought. But that is certainly not what happened with Curse of Osiris. Like, they gave us a raid layer, and everybody's like, this still blows ass, and I'm not interested in playing it.
It really sucks, because the biggest complaint about Crota, which in my opinion was a really fun raid and really engaging, was that it was just a long strike, or sometimes not even a long strike, just an average strike. And they did the same thing with the fucking raid layers. It was run through it really fast, kill a bunch of shit, go fight 1 boss.
And you know what the biggest shame of that is? That the Argos bot, that the boss in at least Eater of Worlds is arguably one of the best raid bosses they've ever designed. Like,
yeah, the mechanics are challenging, the difficulty is up there.
Yeah, it's there. It's all there.
They made it a weird fucking level, which increased the difficulty of the mechanics without making the boss more bullet spongy. They were like, no, it's actually just a big confusing map to run around on, and good luck if you're going to try to figure out how to do it, because shit's confusing. Good luck. Like, that was it. That's fucking awesome. Like, good job, Bungie. Way to go, game design. Thank you for being original.
Alright. And
Well,
same thing with the new raid layer, Spire Stars. Everything I heard about it, it's like fantastic. It's great. Like, people say it's actually hard and challenging, which is fantastic. People like compared it to Voted Glass. That's fucking fantastic. But what do you get from it? Nothing?
Yeah, exactly. With the hard and challenging, that's great. I would love to do hard and challenging. But what's the point if I can get 4 armor drops from doing the same thing I've done for the last year, and then we've got it down to a science, and we can do it in an hour?
Yeah. Like,
right?
It's nothing rewarding.
Like, you can't call it a looter shooter, and then not give me a reason to go loot all the, or like go shoot the things to get the loot.
Right. Like, what the hell's the point of me doing this new raid layer if it's literally the same, like, gear that I'll get from doing the other raid layer. And what's the point of even doing that when I can just do Callus?
Right, because armor doesn't matter, and what the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
Armor doesn't matter, and when you make your armor cosmetic, and then your cosmetic armor looks like asshole, then you really don't have anything to do.
Right, because let's be really clear, right this second, both raid layer armor sets, if you even dare to call them different, by being slightly reskinned or slightly modified versions of one another, they look fucking terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. There's almost zero redeeming qualities about any of those sets at all. Maybe the Warlock set, and that is a hard maybe. We're not even, like, I can't even say it with confidence that that's actually a viable solution.
Yeah. Like,
You know,
I just want to be
right.
a bug on my Titan? What the fuck kind of shit is this? Jesus.
If they had it right during Rise of Iron. They had ornaments right. The ornaments looked cool. The raid armor was a basic raid armor that you would get, but the ornaments made it look hella cool.
And the basic raid layer, or the basic raid armor, actually looked pretty cool all on its own.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, take the Oryx raid armor. The only thing they did was add like a blue splintery effect to it. Sweet. Still looks rad as hell. Looks the same. But then you take like the Vex, with the vaulted glass armor.
Oh, spectacular.
Everybody gets robot legs. Robot legs for everybody.
Exactly.
Yes, please.
It's
I'll
like,
take more
oh my
robot
God.
legs.
Please.
They actually changed how the armor looked instead of just being like, oh, here's an ornament. It's just a reskin of the same piece of armor.
Yeah.
Right? But you know what the funny thing was? Because the Oryx armor was so weird looking in the first place, a lot of people didn't continue using it after the raid was done, and after people had other alternatives, because, let's be real, shit looked weird. End of story.
It did. I would
It
rather
did,
use
but
the
it was
Crota
cool.
armor, because the Crota armor looked dope as hell.
Right? But here's the thing, all of a sudden you bring back the Oryx armor, and you put all those fucking sweet-ass blue craggly effects on it. Shit's really convincing. I really want to play with it, because all of a sudden, you took my, like, normal armor that was, okay, and it was functional, and made it look like fucking crazy, like, MMORPG armor that clearly indicates that I've played way too many hours of this game.
Exactly. That's what I want to look like. I want to look like... I want the game to reflect how many hours I've put into the game with the armors that I have. And not
Right,
with
not...
fucking RNG. God damn it.
No, and not with some bullshit consumable shaders where everybody could get a handful. Like, I could totally deck out an entire set of armor in Trials shaders, but I'd only get to do it once, because, literally once ever in my life, because I've only played Trials enough one time to get one set of shaders. Like, 4 shader things was that was it. Couldn't get more, because I'm
Right.
not good enough, and that's that.
Why are there no public events spawning? I thought there was always a public event on Titan.
Oh no, you get to this weird gap.
And you get a different fucking shader each time I go flawless. Like, each season I go flawless, I get a new shader. Well, fuck, then I've got a reason to actually play the fucking game, because all of a sudden I'm going to be able to show off how I went flawless seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right, yeah.
We had a crew convoy returning with
And if you're going to tell me that Bungie doesn't have enough time to come up with that many different shaders, I'm sorry, how much shit shader work do I delete out of my vault every single day?
True facts. True facts.
Too goddamn many.
Yeah. One too many facts.
Oh, I guess this counts as a public event, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. another one of like one of my biggest things that I just hate is the lack of diversity in armor sets in general in this game is abysmal.
Yep.
Like everything's just a reskin of everything, and it's just pathetic.
Yeah, it's like the whole art team was told to just go on fucking vacation.
Yeah, save all your time for our test shit so people can buy that.
Also, who on the fucking art team thought that the right thing to do was make giant fucking Titan shoulders?
Yeah, seriously.
They heard that we wanted our armor to look like MMORPG armor. And they said,
I
that's
do
a good
within
idea,
reason.
but then they took it in the wrong direction.
Way too far there. Way too far there. My armor is literally the same size as my head. I don't want that. Not in the
And
slightest.
it works for me in League of Legends because my sword is 8 feet long. Doesn't work for
Yeah.
me in this game.
Yeah.
Furthermore, and this is an important one, if you're gonna make my shoulders so fucking big, at least make them cool shapes. You know, one of the best looking Titan shoulder models they have is the new Monarchy ones, because one, they're giant and it's okay. They're kind of an interesting, like, a little bit elegant. They've got a bit of a teardrop shape to them. Two, guess what? They also look functional. If you lifted your arms, like put your arms down at your sides, lifted them straight out, and then over your head, you wouldn't fucking decapitate yourself or have that shit run into your skull.
Very true.
What a fucking concept. Like, I understand Monster Hunter armor because it's a fucking weeaboo game. End of story. That's it. They don't have to justify why their armor looks the way it does, because it's made for kids who fucking jerk off in their mom's basements.
Hey. Jeez. Bit savage there.
I mean, excluding my friends who play it.
Good lord.
Some of my friends who play it.
Some of them.
Some. You mean just the one.
Right? Yeah.
When I play my shitty weeaboo games, I want my women to wear bikinis and my men to have giant shoulders, okay? It's to be expected. This is not one of those games.
Very true, very true.
Right,
I want my...
Destiny's... But and this is so, you know, plot twist moment here for just a second. One of the things that I think is really important to call out is the slightly cartoony nature of Destiny's design is something that should work to its advantage, and does in certain instances. And it's actually one of the things that I think Anthem is going to struggle with a lot, is finding a way to define its style as a game so that it can be interesting. Like, I think about we have no idea what raids are going to look like in Anthem. So, fine, I can take that with a grain of salt. But I have a really hard time thinking that any raid in Anthem is ever going to look even remotely as good or be remotely as satisfying as a raid in Destiny.
Yeah, that's one of the problems I
Yeah.
have. Just looking at Anthem, I go, okay, this honestly looks pretty generic. And that's kind of the same reason I didn't want to play the Division either. It's just like, it looks like a takes itself too seriously kind of game.
And I don't disagree with you. It
I don't
does
either.
look that way. The Division really did a great job, especially in some of the later executions of itself. And the raids got really interesting, and the enemies were interesting. Like, a lot of that game really came around.
Mhm.
Oh, there's an
and
active
it's
public event on Siren's Watch.
And as long as you've kind of suspended reality long enough to get away from, like, pissing and moaning about the bullet sponginess of things, the Division's an amazing game.
It really is. Like, I can't really express how well they changed everything from what it used to be at launch to what it is now.
Yeah.
Because what it is now is just fan-fucking-tastic. From everything from like the armor sets, having their own like individual stats, making whatever kind of build that you want to make. It's fantastic.
Yep. The other thing that the Division did really, really well, and go figure, it's something that everybody's been clamoring about at Bungie for ages. Ubisoft actually just straight up ripped off Blizzard's Diablo 3 style recalibration thing. And they're like, hey, you want to re-roll a single stat on any piece of gear? Go for it. In fact, once you've re-rolled a single stat on all your pieces of gear, we're going to come out with a new set of like armor pieces called classified gear, and on those you can re-roll 2 stats.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sorry, you just... And they were like, but we also recognize that this might not be enough for you min-maxers out there because there's still just a little too much RNG involved. So we're going to put a really big stretch goal in front of you called the optimization station. And you can spend one of the hardest to earn currencies in the entire fucking game in gross, huge quantities. And when you do that, you can boost all of the stats on any piece of gear until they actually hit max. So you can actually hit 100% perfected rolls of whatever gear you're wearing. Congrats, go to town. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so, and the fact that they dangle that carrot in front of you, that you could potentially have the most optimal roll, period, is unfucking real.
That is something that I wish... I'm glad they're adding random rolls again. I'm a bit bummed that older weapons, like current weapons, won't be able to have random rolls because I want a battle scar with like... So I like battle scar. It's a good pulse rifle.
Yeah.
I just wish it had something different about it. So
Give me Headseeker on it.
Yeah, like not full auto.
I like the full auto. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, full auto is actually pretty nice on it.
I just wish that it, like I could get a high impact rounds or something on there too.
I think Arf, did you said Headseeker?
Yeah, Headseeker or even Zen Moment, because you said like the oh, not really the stability.
Oh,
not
Zen
really
Moment would be good.
But Zen Moment will also work.
Zen
but like
Moment,
any of those perks would
because
be nice on
one
that
of
gun.
the things that's really tough about Battlescar, that thing kicks like a fucking mule.
Yeah, it really does.
It really rears up each time you pull the trigger. Headseeker would be great because it would allow you to actually change how you play with the gun and aim for the body a little bit, like on purpose, knowing that Headseeker was going to pick up the slack.
Yeah.
Or a Zen Moment where it's just a matter of like just keep putting rounds down range and eventually the thing will zero itself in.
Like imagine if Huckleberry had Headseeker. God, that gun would be just ridiculous. I think that gun might actually
that
be
gun's
broken because of that.
Dude, Huckleberry's already pretty broken in general. If it had Headseeker, it'd just be stupid.
Yeah.
You know? But, fucking let me have that. Let me make stupid gear.
And that's one of the things I really like about Diablo 3, is just like, you have the purple quality, that's going to be your standard go-to wearables. But you can get that same item piece with crazy boosted stats.
Yep.
Because you can get it primal, and then you can get it ancient primal, and at that point you're just rolling around with like a piece of armor that's at least 5 times better than what it was.
Jesus.
And even better than it should be, if we're being
And even better than it
really-
should be, honestly, yeah. Because
Yeah,
you'll get
like
like an ancient primal. If you're doing GR70s and you get an ancient primal, doesn't fucking matter what build you're using. You're switching to whatever that primal is because it's good.
Yep.
You're like, oh, I'm playing a witch doctor and I got the chicken. Okay, I'm going chickens. Let's fucking roll.
Right, because all of a sudden, the high-level gear that you have, and the fact that you even got it, that matters. You're like, alright, done. Like, I'll play this. I'm
Yep.
ready to go.
Unlike this game, when you get a piece of armor, just like, I have this already.
and sharding
For the
it
50th
so I
time.
can buy
Which-
some. I don't know. What do I even spend legendary shards on?
Nothing, you stockpile it.
ISO
And you know
chronal
what
Yeah.
engrams. Yeah.
right? And you know what the worst part of it is? Diablo 3, absolutely, I destroy way more gear in Diablo 3 than I ever do in Destiny. Hands down.
Yeah. I
Yes.
destroy like every other piece of gear I get in that game.
Yeah.
Maybe like every 10 pieces of gear I get, I destroy 9 of them.
Yeah,
And
yet
then I'll destroy
somehow,
the 10th one not too long after.
right, but somehow I feel like I'm getting way more rewards out of playing D3 than I do Diablo 3 than I do playing Destiny.
Because when you're sharding gear in Diablo, you're being like, I can work towards rolling a weapon that I might actually use. I can use these to craft a weapon that can roll Ancient Primal, and
Yeah.
I might
Yep.
be able
Like,
to use it.
that armor can be useful making something else. In this game, it's just... It's kind of just in your inventory
Well-
forever until you need something.
And the other thing is Diablo 3, and this is a really key part. Diablo 3 doesn't drop the equivalent of a bunch of blues on you with only the occasional purple, and then amongst those occasional purples, only very rarely does it drop a level appropriate item.
Right.
And that's a fundamental difference. Everything in Diablo 3 that drops is at your level and is usable, and the only reason you're not using it is because it doesn't have quite the right stats or quite the right roll on it. That's the only reason you're not using it.
Yeah, it's like,
In Destiny, the reason you're not using all of the shit that drops is because it's actually unusable. There's no way to actually put it to good use because it's too low level, and it's not based on the stats or the perks, it's based on the fact that there's literally no way to use it.
Right. Like,
that
for instance...
if I put this piece of armor on, no matter how cool it looks, it's actually causing the game to become harder.
Right.
Because I'm gonna
and
suffer
not
a
even
huge
just how
detriment.
cool it looks, no matter how good the perks might be on it, if there were even perks on it.
If it's a piece of armor, it doesn't have any perks.
Yeah, it doesn't have any perks, but there's
Yeah.
a blue scout rifle called Black Tiger. It's probably one of my favorite scout rifles. It's a fast-firing scout rifle with Zen Moment on it. Like, that thing's fairly nice. I love it, but it only has a Zen Moment. That's it.
It's got one perk, yeah.
Yeah, like, that's
Okay.
it.
What is the point of blue gear except for making you switch off of your purples when the new DLC comes out?
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty much it.
And truthfully, there's none. But Dado put up, and I think it's a very fair video, a really good thing about why he's concerned about bringing forward all the gear that we currently have, and I don't disagree
Yeah, I saw
with
that
him.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's something to be said for in this. It's so hard to articulate in a better way, but the simple version is the most rewarding moments
This instance is shit. I'm going back to the tower.
are when you get to actually like grind back up levels.
Right.
And yeah, it's not the funnest thing in the world, but that was part of one of the best parts of any new World of Warcraft expansion, was jumping into the new content and realizing that you were going to have to eventually give up the last round of raid gear you had because the blues and the greens you were getting were better than those raid items, simply because they had a higher like base level to them. And that's kind of shitty to have to think about, but it's also an engaging way to look at the game and like have a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, I I'm really happy that the infusion system came along. But I feel like it's almost like a curse now. It's a crutch now. It's something that we're using to continually stagnate the game. If we continue to bring things forward and we can continue to infuse the weapons we've been using, the game is never going to change.
Yep.
Right, because we're going to consistently keep using the old stuff. And what's the point using this new thing I got where I can just use what I already know and what I already am used to? Which, that's why I was kind of okay with everything not coming over from D1 when Taken King came out. I was like kind of fine with that.
I think a lot of people were in the same boat. I think everybody, well, not everybody. I think a lot of people were very okay with not having all your shit from D1 in year one of D1 roll into Taken King. They were like, you know what, this sucks, kind of. But you know what they did? They put a shitload of amazing new guns into year 2 and 3.
Right, exactly.
By comparison, right? You get into year 2 and 3, and all of a sudden, there are fucking buku guns all over the place, and they're interesting to use, and because they have random rolls, they don't even have to be that original. They can still be pretty close to what they were in year 1 or 2, in year 1. But it's okay because it just doesn't fucking matter. Like, put enough of them in there, and you know, what was it, Wizard 77, the fusion rifle?
Yeah.
Everybody fucking loved that gun, but guess what? Doesn't matter because they got another one that was just like it in the second year.
1020, but it is blue.
And it was okay. Everybody's like, yeah, cool, whatever. Lost the zombie apocalypse. I got Quillam's Terminus instead.
Yeah, that beast. That fucking beast. And then, you know what? You know what they did for year 3? They brought majority of the stuff that people love back. Like, that's fine. That was A-okay with me. Like,
at that point, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because you know what they gave us that was different in year 3 that made it okay to bring everything back? The raid in year 3 had such highly specialized armor and weapons, and the raid itself was so hard that you really had to rely on those highly specialized armors and weapons, that everybody's like, yeah, fuck it. If I'm going into the raid, I'm using this shit. Like, it's not the best stuff I have. It may not even be the highest level stuff I have, but it is the only thing that's going to get me through this raid, so fuck you.
Exactly. Which, compared to now, it's like, I honestly don't even put on the raid armor, because I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm going to do fine without it either or.
Like, yeah, what are the benefits of the raid armor? It's like, while
Besides,
you do
like,
this,
oh,
your grenades do slightly more damage.
Yeah, punch this thing, and you have a chance to get more power ammo.
Yeah, when even Datto doesn't bother using the raid armor in the raid, you know there's
it's not
an
worth
issue.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, Bungie, you done goofed. But and this is such a shitty thing to have to, like, go back to all the time. But honest to God, the fucking Wrath of the Machine armor and weapons, that was the pinnacle of weapon and armor design for Destiny in terms of the, like, abilities and skills you could get by having them.
Yeah, I really honestly wish that the perks were changed enough to the point where if I go into the raid without a full set on, I'm not going to have the same advantages that I would. I want to go into a raid and I want to be like, okay, I'm going to put on this raid gear so that I can, deal more damage to Praetorians. Okay, perfect. That's actually helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because guess what? One of the hardest parts of the raid is dealing with the fucking Praetorians that come out and wreck my butthole every time.
And it was not an enjoyable
and having
experience.
weapons that say, like, these can overpierced Praetorian shields. Sweet. Let's fucking wreck up some Praetorians right now.
Supplies are running low.
Mhm.
Putting in a request and annotating with a multi-point plan.
Or the fucking weapons. I'm sorry, triple double. One of the coolest perks ever invented on a gun.
Sounds good one. That
What was
was
triple double
that's a
again?
good gun.
That was the
You get
every
3 headshots, you get 2 guns back, 2 bullets back.
yeah.
Oh.
One was from your reserves, and one was just generated, so you could theoretically just continue firing your gun, almost infinitely. Like there was a point that you could probably run out of ammo if you hit nothing but headshots. But on like a 14-round clip, you could fire something like 30 rounds before it would actually run out of ammo.
Jeez, what gun
Yeah.
was that?
The Chaos Dogma.
Oh, that's why I don't remember it, because I didn't use the Chaos Dogma much.
Or what was the
The sniper?
no, what was the heavy machine gun?
Oh yeah,
That one had triple double on it too, didn't it?
It did, and it wasn't even that good. In terms of like overall DPS, tons of people did DPS comparisons, and they were like, "Yeah, no, this thing actually isn't that great. Don't use it." But if you want like just a solid giggle, go ahead and use it.
But if you were using it against a fallen walker, that motherfucker was dead.
Oh yeah, and even if you were just using it kind of like jokingly, you could still go fuck up Golgoroth with it. Real
yeah.
hard.
Anything that had a large crit spot, that shit would fuck it up.
Mm-hmm. The sniper rifle that had what the fuck was it? I forget the name of the perk, but it was the one where if you reload when the mag is empty, you get more ammo or a chance to load more ammo into the mag than what it normally has.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like a guaranteed thing, and it gave it increased reload speed when the mag was empty. Like, I'm sorry, that's fucking sweet. That's a really cool way to combine perks.
I guess I'm dead. That's fine.
I guess I'm dead. This is fine.
This is okay.
I was up to 3 renown stacks, and the walker just looked at me, and I died.
Ah, that's what happened.
Yeah, you're probably sitting at like a solid 5 right now.
1.
Solid 1. What have you been doing?
Well, I don't need any stacks. I don't need any more tokens. All my shit's
Give
done.
me all your tokens.
That's what I want to do.
Go turn in all your tokens and tell me how many arms you get, so that I can decide how many times I want to shoot myself in the goddamn face.
So that anger will allow you to get it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll get it exactly when I hit rank 50, and then I'll be.
Right as rain. Right as rain.
All I have to do right now is just get fucking Fist of Havoc kills, and then I'm done with all my ornaments.
I'm just kind of
Could not be
spreading.
more excited.
Well, I got a shiny Pokemon today, so I guess I just used all my luck this morning.
Oh yeah, you do. What Pokemon is it?
Rosalia.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one that you
Yes.
and Caroline went looking for, right?
Uh-huh.
Did they add
I went
Gen
to
4
work.
Pokemon?
What?
Did they add Gen
No,
4
Rosalia is
Pokemon yet?
Gen 3.
Okay, because I'm gonna say you could evolve that.
to
Yeah.
Roserade.
Yeah, that's what I was like trying to get at. Like, if they added Gen 4, you got that bitch is gonna evolve. Be hot.
Yeah, that's what we went out looking
From
for
right
last
here.
night. Caroline got an extra one, and
What that means.
anyway, I was at work, and there's a Pokestop. I mean, there's a gym right across the street from me, and I had a task in Pokemon that's like, go battle in a gym, so I crossed the street to go battle in the gym, and I passed Rosalia, and I was like, I guess I'll just click on all of them, and it was shiny, and I was like, fuck yeah!
Nice. By the way, how's
Glad
the
I
trading
walked
system
across the sheet.
work now?
The trading system is kind of shit.
Not surprised. This is Niantic.
It's prohibitively expensive.
Oh, guess I'm dead. Too. Okay. Thought I dodged it. Wait, expensive? How much does it cost?
It doesn't cost any real money, but it costs 20,000 Stardust to trade
Oh,
a
Jesus.
basic ass Pokemon that you
Seriously?
don't.
Good
If you're trying to
Lord.
complete Pokedex, if you're trading a Pokemon that you don't have, it's 20,000 Stardust. If it's a shiny or a legendary Pokemon,
Oh god.
it is 1 million Stardust.
God, that's abysmal.
Yeah, it's great. But if you're a friend with somebody, so they added friends at the same time,
Right, I remember that.
and you get friend bonuses. So like, if you're a really good friend with somebody, you get cheaper trading rates. So to get to the max level of friendship, you have to interact with each other for 90 days, and that takes that 1 million down to 200,000.
Okay, okay, that's kind of reasonable.
So
though.
I mean, that is still
it's
extremely
still a lot,
prohibitively
but
expensive.
it's not
Well
as
done.
much.
Again.
But God, it's
But if you
turning into
both
a
already have the
monopoly,
Pokemon
Jesus.
and you're just trading for candies, it costs you a whopping 4 Stardust.
Seriously?
If you're ultra friends, or best friends, I'm sorry, which is the max.
Ultra friends.
Interact. Yeah, it goes good friends, great friends, ultra friends, and then best
What?
friends.
Wait, how does it go to ultra the best friends? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
I was thinking it would go ultra to master friends, but apparently they aren't good with sticking to themes.
Oh, yeah. It's very weird. It's Niantic, let's be honest. Niantic is literally like almost the equivalent to Bungie in mobile games, especially when it comes to Pokemon.
Or maybe they're doing the fishing rod. Yeah, the good rod. Oh, but there's not an old friend. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, old
I don't know
friend.
what the fuck they're doing.
That might actually be like when someone comes back to the game that hasn't played in a very long time, and you get a notification, hey, there's an old friend back. Why don't you send him something or whatever?
You can give them you can get a Stardust
Yeah,
discount
Interact.
for people who haven't played in a while.
yeah, that would actually be nice. If they did that, I might actually re-download the damn game. But
No,
probably
you're
not.
white. It's okay. You don't have to play.
Well, I'm gonna get Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, so probably going to since there's some sort of integration with it.
Yeah, you can transfer Pokemon via the Safari Zone, so you can take your Pokemon from Pokemon Go and put them into Pokemon. Let's go.
Yeah, and plus the fact there's gonna be a new gen Pokemon that's gonna be in Pokemon Go. So it's like I kind of have to, cause your boy needs to see these new gen Pokemon. I'll be honest. I'm thirsting for a new
as soon
Pokemon
as-
game. That's not
as soon as
Pokemon Go.
Gen 4 comes out, I'll be jazzed because Garchomp's in Gen 4.
Oh, Garchomp. I wonder if he's gonna be just as broken.
Probably not, actually. The Pokemon Go meta is way different than the normal Pokemon meta.
I'd say like what is the meta like in that game?
There's not.
Yeah, you pretty much don't.
I'd say like
But you know, you depending on the
But
Pokemon,
it's-
like Moltres is one of the strongest Pokemon in the game.
is it still like based on like whichever Pokemon has like the strongest like base CP? I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
kinda
remember
the
when,
movesets.
Yeah, because I remember when the game first came out, Vaporeon was like the king, because that bitch was like hella strong.
Vaporeon's still a really good attacker, except they've added a lot of more grass Pokemon now and
Makes
electric
sense.
type Pokemon. So
But here's the
Vaporeon's kinda
thing:
useless.
is even if you're going up against things that are like categorically put you at a disadvantage, it's still so much about like how fast you can tap and how fast you can click through things that I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter, but it kind of doesn't matter.
Well, I honestly don't know. From you'd be the expert here, honestly.
tapping speed is actually not the biggest thing because if you want to get all nerdy about it, certain attacks take more frames to do, even though they're all in the fast attack slot. The fast attacks do not attack as fast as you can tap. Even Vaporeon, if I'm tapping like, say like 4 taps a second, I'm tapping 1 extra time a second because I think Vaporeon can only attack 2 or 3 times a second.
Gotcha.
And then like I was using
I'm reading
I was using my Rhydon earlier today when I was fighting the gym, and he can only attack like once every like 0.8 seconds. So I can only get 1.5 or 2 attacks in every 1.5 seconds. So he's a really slow, fast attacker.
The woman want to rock, so I give her something she can ride on.
So you really want to like look for the movesets that have those super fast attacks. So like some of the movesets are more fast, and then the battling system is mostly just like whatever, do whatever the fuck you want, use whoever's strongest, or use a good counter. So make sure you're using type effective against what you're using. So I used a lot of like fire and rock types when I was out catching Regice the other day.
Yeah.
Is Jirachi in there now? I would assume since Gen 2
Jirachi is not. Celebi will be coming out soon.
I heard about that. What about Deoxys?
Deoxys is not in either.
The Weather
I think
Trio?
Deoxys will be the Weather Trio?
Yeah. Kyogre, Rhydon, or not Rhydon,
yeah.
but Groudon and Rayquaza.
I have a Kyogre and a Rayquaza. I missed a Groudon. He'll be back though. And I have the legendary birds. I don't have Ho-Oh or Lugia, but Caroline has Lugia.
You have Mewtwo?
I have Mewtwo and Mew. The only Pokemon I'm missing from Gen 1 are Kangaskhan, Mr. Mime, and Hitmonlee.
Because I remember Kangaskhan was like a region Pokemon, right?
Yeah, he's only found in Australia. Mr. Mime's only found in Europe.
Yeah.
And I just have really shitty luck, and I don't have a Hitmonlee. Because you could only hatch them in Gen 1, and I didn't get it in Gen 1, and then when Gen 2 came out, you can only hatch Tyros.
Yeah, Tyros. And what's the requirement
I have a
from
Tyro.
that, though? So, it's not like...
So Tyrogue will evolve into Hitmonlee if his best attack is, or best stat is attack. Hitmonchan
so
if his
still
best attack or stat is defense, and Hitmontop if it's HP.
Interesting.
So I have one that's defense, but I already have a Hitmonchan, so I'm like, well, fuck me then, I guess.
Yes, give me the skills.
So I posted on a Discord today, like, I have 3 Alolan Grimers I'm willing to trade if somebody has a Tyrogue or a Hitmonlee. Nobody got back to me.
Oh, that's right. They added the Alolan Pokemon. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Is
They're kind
it
of dumb
just
because you can
Muk,
only get a...
Vulpix, Dugtrio, Sandslash, and Marowak?
They haven't actually added Dugtrio and Geodude yet, but they've already added Meowth and Muk and Executor and Rattata.
It's still a Rattata, though, let's be honest. No one gives a fuck. It's a dark type.
It is still Rattata, but I have him.
Who gives a fuck?
I'm all about that Pokedex completion.
You're right,
Get
you're right.
level
You're not
40.
wrong. Just give me a goddamn... I would like a Marowak, so I can call it, or a Alolan Marowak, so I can call it Mom. Question mark.
Mom?
Yeah.
Because it's gonna beat your ass with a stick.
No, because it's a ghost type in Lone.
Oh, I
Because,
see.
yeah, you're not
Right,
dead.
yeah.
There you go.
Okay. I don't like Magic.
Yeah, this went really off. This went a bit off topic. It was fine. A little happy moment talking about Pokemon. Okay with that. Honestly, it was getting kind of depressing. Keep talking about the bad things of Destiny.
Well, we could talk all night about the bad things of Destiny.
We can. We can. 100%.
Here's the thing, though. If we're going to talk about the bad things of Destiny, we also have to point out that we're all sitting around playing Destiny right now.
These are also facts.
Here's the thing. I'll complain about Destiny until I'm blue in the face, but I'm still gonna play it because I do love it. I love the game. I love everything about it.
Even when it
we
goes
still
through
love the
weird,
game,
terrible
so.
moments, like to be released today, I would go back to Vanilla D1 with flying to the tower in between character swaps just to switch gear over Curse of Osiris.
You know what? I would totally agree.
Yeah.
I would totally agree. Because Curse of Osiris is literally like the biggest piece of bologna sauce I've fucking ever seen from Bungie. Not as bad as Warmind's story, but you know, that's a different topic on story. Because, you know, Bungie doesn't give a fuck.
Warmind's, you know what though? Warmind's story, who fucking cares? This DLC is what brought everybody back and gave them things to grind for. There's a reason why we've all been killing ourselves and pissing and moaning about RNGesus all week, because we haven't been able to get a certain armor piece to drop, because we're dying to get a fucking item in Destiny 2 right now.
Very true. That's like hella enjoyable.
Job well done, Bungie, because you figured out how to make me care about the game and make me come back and want to play the ever-living balls out of it.
Yeah. No.
It's really funny. I was driving home from work today. I went to the store to pick up milk, and while I was at the store, I was like, do I even really want to like worry about getting the ornaments and stuff? I don't even care. I'll just get to rank 50, get the Sunshot Catalyst, and just be done with it. And here I am. I'm still pissed about not having.
Yeah, and
my
then you
arms.
realize,
Like,
yeah, like, come on now, completionist got to kick in there. Like, you need it. You want it.
Speaking of
I
which,
just
is
wish
that
it
the,
wasn't time gated.
Data looks good. Hope Zavala and Sloan find what
Yeah.
they
is that the last armor piece you need out of all of your characters, or?
I don't have a single full set. I'm working on my first full set.
Oh, fuck. I thought that was like your third character you're working on. I didn't know you didn't have a single, like, full set yet.
I have not touched my Warlock or my Titan except
Oh,
for to do the
no.
dailies to get extra coins. And at this point, like, I've considered it. But like, what if I just switched over to my Titan and turned in all my packages over there? And the thing is, though, I don't want to do that because I could potentially get a full set on my Titan, or I could just waste 20 packages when I could be trying to get arms. I don't know what the middle ground is here. I don't know what the odds are that I'm supposed to be looking at. It's just...
I honestly wouldn't tell you. Honestly, I would be the stubborn one just like you right now and keep going for arms. Because that's what I did with the cloak. I literally just said, fuck it, I'm getting this cloak. And invested like 100 tokens until I got it. Shit was annoying. Or not the cloak, but the Titan mark.
See, and I still think that one of the most depressing parts of this is that some of us, like Brian and Chris and myself, all managed to round out all of our armor sets as quickly as we did, and not because I want to task it, like, zero shade, just it really sucks that RNGesus wound up playing such a big role.
Yeah. It really blows.
And it just really blows because next faction rally, I won't have this problem at all. And if I fail to get all the pieces of armor and all the ornaments by Tuesday morning, I'm gonna have no opportunity to flesh out my future war cult opportunities. Like it's done Tuesday morning. That is my last opportunity. Fuck
Right,
me for
because
having a job and a wife.
Because the only thing you're going to be able to
Demands
do
my time.
after this is go do your fucking Dead Orbit in... I'm assuming that's the one you have left.
No, I have New Monarchy left.
Okay. At least you have one where the gear sets look nice.
Very true. And me and Matt's case, we have to do Dead Orbit and be edgelords.
But at least we can go direct buy all the fucking armor, so we don't have to fucking waste
Yeah,
our
which is
time.
fucking stupid that they decided that method for this beginning faction round. Like, what the
Back
fuck?
to the tower. I'll take the dogs in a second.
Also, why the fuck did that Jagweed have to decide that this is the one that Future War Cult needed to win? Because it would have been way fucking easier to do this on next week and like just knock it out.
Yeah. But no. But I'm okay with it now at this point. It's like, at least Future War Cult is gonna have a win. And if they don't get a win, then, well, I don't know who the fuck was supporting the other factions. And
I played
we're
also, when I was playing Crucible, like a lot of people were wearing New Monarchy gear out there too.
oh,
I mean,
Dogs.
frankly,
That's all that counts.
I mean, I'm
it's
proud.
because I
but-
went and it's because I went and repped the fuck out of New Monarchy last season or
Oh yeah,
last month.
100%. Like,
But it's also partly because the New Monarchy shit looks really fucking good.
yeah, and well, I'm just a New Monarchy fanboy and New Monarchy for life. Always, no matter what.
Although the one thing I will say is Dead Orbit's going to be the biggest pain in the ass, and for myself at least, I'm really glad that they're doing direct purchase,
Yeah.
because I don't know if I have a single piece of actual Dead Orbit gear on any of my characters.
See, I at least made sure at least every character that was originally like their faction was this faction had a full set. I was at least okay with that.
See, I never pledged anything to Dead Orbit, so I have zilch that's actually Dead Orbit right now.
Jeez. That's actually bad.
You're not wrong. But if they were going to introduce fucking direct purchase, it's on the right one where none of my characters have any of the fucking armor, so I can just direct purchase it and be done.
An extremely successful sortie.
Yeah,
as I've
there's
come to
that.
expect from you.
Thank
well
God.
done. Again.
Okay.
Guardian, down.
Oop.
Oh, well, there's that. We're gonna die now. Whatever. Don't care enough.
I'm gonna go to the last sector.
Yep. Trying to get there. I fucked up. Oh god, I fucked up. Oh, never mind. Didn't fuck up. Which, by the way, just from like me running around with just having a 3-stack, or having no armor whatsoever, I'm already like almost at 500 tokens, I'm pretty sure. I'm just like, oh my god. What am I actually gonna do with all this?
That right there rounds it out, kids.
Got it?
I have all 3 sets of ornaments, and I have precisely 20 tokens to take to the tower to turn in for the level 49 to 50 jump to get the fucking catalyst, and I am calling it
Nice.
a week.
Nice. Forgot we were going to Ogre. From.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
The other thing they did a bomb-ass job with on these ornaments is matching up the new shaders to what the ornament's actual like default color is.
Yeah.
I really like that, because that's the kind of forward thinking I wish they would have used just a smidge in D1, except for the whole like universal shader system that they had, because frankly, that way when I want to sub in like an exotic piece of armor, it actually matches everything else, and I only, like, if you're gonna only give me a limited number of each shader, thank fucking God they gave me the one, like, I only have to put it on, like, a handful of pieces of gear.
Mm-hmm. Which, with the new Monarchy armor set, what I'm really upset about, honestly, is the fact, like, with a lot of shaders, it makes it look poo-poo. Like, it looks really bad. Honestly.
Yeah, the new Monarchy gear doesn't look good in anything except that, like, orange and red shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But that orange and red shit is so good.
It is hot. It is hot. Bro, just fucking die already. Jesus Christ. Ah, oh, I got that last kill in. Okay, where am I now with colony kills? 83%. Let's go.
With what kills?
Colony kills.
Oh, God.
So all you need to do is get kills with it. That's it. Thank God. It's nothing specific. Um,
Boom! Catalyst acquired. Ornament acquired.
nice.
Ah, that feels so good. I really, as much as I love, and I mean I really love the new monarchy armor, or the new monarchy ornaments. They did such a good job with Future War Cult also. The hunter in particular is out fucking rageous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Bungo, stop it. Where was that fucking armor designer when you came out with the original game?
Please and thank you. Give that man all the. Huh. Training the Wardcliff coil catalyst. It improves tracking on projectiles. Okay.
That's it?
That's it.
I don't even care. Fucking sign me up. That sounds awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna take a quick 10-minute break. I'll be back.
Yep. Oh shit, I'm still live streaming. Huh. Cool. Honestly, this is pretty good. Probably gonna end the stream right here though. This is pretty good. After the silliness and whatnot, got some good topics in. Talked about some good stuff. I digged it. So for anyone that's watching, which is no one, because I blow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode of the Board of Bros podcast. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Listen. It's a work in progress.